Hello there, Michelle G here, Bendy Stitchy. My pronouns are she, her, and you have found part 2 of my 2023 whip parade. Part 2 because it's like 10 hours worth of finishes. I said whip parade. This is a finish parade. Don't expect to see any whips here. I like to do my finish parade at the end of the year and then my whip parade at the beginning of the year. So kind of like taking stock of what I've done in the year and then taking stock of what I have available to do, sans new starts, at the beginning of the year. And actually, my whip parade that I will film probably in January, early January, I don't have that many whips left. So it might have to be, it'll either be a very short whip parade or a whip/plans parade. Maybe I'll start it the second week of January so that I can start all my sales. Okay. Anyway, so I will endeavor to let you know for each whip that I show, there's 38 more whip. For each finish that I show, there are 38 more. I will endeavor to tell you the start date, the finish date, the designer, the pattern name, the fabric, and the flosses that I used. Sometimes I hit all of them. Sometimes I hit some of them. Almost always I ramble on about a story, so pull up a chair, grab your beverage. Oh, you know what you should do? Grab your stitching, grab a project, take a before picture, and post it on Instagram with hashtag Parade Progress 2024. And then when you're done with this video, take another picture, post it again, Parade Progress 2024. This is how far I got while I was watching Bendy's second half. Do it with everyone and you'll be shocked. You might get a finish or two out of it. I always get a finish or two out of Parade Progress. Anyway, so we're starting now at finish 39. Video 1 has finished 1 through 38. 2023. Full disclosure, I've already been filming for an hour and 50 minutes. So hashtag Parade Progress 2023. Thank goodness I have my patrons on here live with me. helping me. Parade Progress 2023. We'll save Parade Progress 2024 for next year. Finish 39 of the year is a model of mine. I designed this for Hearts for Pam, which is a collaboration that was done with many, many designers and Cottage Garden Threads when the mom of Cottage Garden Threads, who is Pam, Katie is the main dyer and business person of Cottage Garden Threads, the Australian company. Pam had to have some work done on her ticker this year. So in order to raise funds and love for Pam, a bunch of designers, we gifted them our pattern. Like, I didn't get paid for this, except in love and a sense of accomplishment. And I got to keep the flosses. But a bunch of us used a palette. And this is hard to see because the fabric it's 28 count Venetian stone from Zweigart, which is a color that I really love, but the translucency of this fabric is like no other. I will continue to design on it until I can find something equally great. I love this grayish color that doesn't have so much see-through. But so this is done on 28 count Venetian stone from Zweigart, and it's done all in Cottage Garden Threads. Let me catch the light. This is called Ace of Swords. And it's a big old heart in the middle with a flower growing out of it. And it was a new start. I started it on May 29th, 2023, and finished it on May 31st, 2023. It was probably a deadline stitch. It was probably due at the end of May, probably. And since then, spoiler alert, I have designed the Empress using the same color palette. So I will be stitching the Empress. And I will be releasing this sometime. I'm not going to do all the tarot cards, but it looks like I'm going to do some of them. So there's that. I love this piece. It was fun to stitch. I stitched it in 2 days. These flosses do all the work for you. But even if you stitch it in DMC, it's still going to be great. It's still going to be great. Yay! Yay! Okay. That was finish number 39. Finish number 40 is a Patreon design. You heard me talk about a couple of these in the last video. Finish number 40 was my May Patreon. Started it on May 28th, finished it on June 2nd. This is No More Toxic Positivity. Again, this is a motif from what I'm calling my tinfoil sampler. It's stitched on 28 count Dunes linen. That Alice. Dunes linen from Fiber on a Whim using Cosmo flosses. And it matches this one that you saw before. And the saying is like, the sayings are multiple. Be the nonsense you wish to see in the world. No more toxic positivity. Chaotic vibes only. Live, cackle, admire from a distance. You'll see more of them. There's a lot more. But this is one of my faves. I really like that basket. I'm a fan of baskets. I really like the border. The border's the first time I pulled in the Cosmo variegated. But I will have all of these little things finished as pillows like this by Acorns and Threads, and then they'll be released. I'll release the sampler as a faithful reproduction and these as an unfaithful adaptation, which is a new genre that I think we should start. Okay. So that was finish number 40. Finish number 41 is an old whip. This is one of my oldest whips. Finish number 41. I gotta pull it up again because my phone. Oh no. Oh no. This is not okay. Okay. So finish number 41 is Katrina from Janny Stitcher. I guess I could have showed that to you instead of my panic face. This is Katrina from Janny Stitcher. I started this on November 21st, 2019. This is one of my oldest whips. And I ask you, why did it take me so long? I stitched on this for probably 12 days. Funny story. When I picked up an old whip from previous years, my average time to finish those old whips this year was 12 days. Some of them took 10, some of them took 14. Average time of less than 2 weeks to finish these older whips. I ask you, why did this whip turn 2.5 years old, 3.5 years old before I finished it? Why? Don't ask me. Anyway, this is stitched on 28 count honey linen, or honey, the fabric is a jaslin. It's like a Jobelin or a Lugana, but it's jaslin. I think it has a little bit of a different makeup than the other ones, and it's all the called for DMC. I did add a couple of beads, just a couple around here. And I started it, like I said, November 21st, 2019, finished it June 9th, 2023 for my 41st finish of the year. And I don't have this anymore because I sent it to my Diana because she said, I love that pattern. Can I get it when you're done? And I said, sure. And then I was like, what if I just sent her the thing? So I just sent her the thing. I didn't finish it though. Sorry, Diana. I didn't finish it though because she's a fantastic finisher and I am lazy and I just didn't finish it. I love her more than enough to have finished it and I just didn't do it. It's me though. She knows me. Moving on to finish 42. Finish 42 is Unexpected Visitor, and this is from Night Spirit Studio. This is on 40 count summer khaki linen, and I used, I started out using DMC, but then by the time I finished it, so I started it and then I started it and I had like 4 stitches in. Oh no. So when I first started it, I started it last year. I started it, blah, 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 blah. I started this on August 1st, 2021. And my friend Alicia and I said that we were going to stitch Night Spirit Studio stuff because someone in August, Sage is the designer, Sage found out that someone was stealing her designs and reselling them. And so Alicia and I said, what's the best way to support someone whose designs are being stolen? Buy their actual designs from them and stitch the designs and get other people to do the same. So I started this for hashtag Night Spirit Studio Sal. And I got as far as this flame and a little bit of these red things. And I started it in DMC. And then this past year, Sage let us in on the fact that she was battling cancer. And so a bunch of us decided to get together and hashtag Stitch for Sage and kind of just show her the love and support that the cross-stitch community can, right? So I got this back out and I started it again I picked out the DMC because you can see now that my red is a little bit variegated. I stitched this with Stitchy Box Silk. The red is, I think it's Dionysus's Wine. And the black, of course, is my favorite black of all time. It's Bat Orchid from Stitchy Silk, Stitchy Box. And then the white is B5200. This is very messed up. Like this piece is a mess. A mess. But you can't tell. You can't tell one bit. You don't know that it's a mess, but it's a mess. But it's a beautiful mess. It's my 42nd finish of the year. I finished it June 22nd. Again, I think once I started stitching on it, I only stitched on it for 7 or 10 days or something like that. This was, again, before I started tracking in Notion, so I can't tell you exactly how many days I stitched, but I will be able to soon, and I am obsessed with this piece. I can't decide if I want to put this in a really ornate frame and frame it, or if I want to make it into a flat fold, because the frame on this, I think, speaks for itself. But I love this piece so much. 42nd finish of the year. Not too shabby. And there's so much extra fabric, I will trim it down. But just not yet, right? Not until I know what I'm going to do with it. It's fine. I have plenty of fabric. All right, next finish was another one of the Ink Circles Round Robins. So this is Dreidel Dreidel from Ink Circles. And this is my friend Deborah's piece. And this is stitched on 16 count antique white linen. My picture is not doing it justice. So I stitched the second quadrant. I think like this. Pretty sure. Ish. I don't know. I started stitching on this on June 22nd and finished my quadrant on June 24th. Yes, it counts as a finish. And this is all done in Classic Colorworks Belle Soie silk in the colorway Lagoon. And it is the called for, and it is perfect. I love this piece. And yes, that is a beaded donut needle binder. It is. So, super fun to stitch. 10 out of 10 would recommend. I wish I had taken a better picture, because don't judge this piece by my picture. Tracy Horner, I apologize. I am not doing any justice whatsoever to your design with that picture. That was atrocious. All right, back to some Quirky Quakers. You ready? Quirky Quaker Whip Go. This is the tiniest candy corn you will ever see in your life. This is on 22 count Hardanger. I think maybe my Diana dyed it. And I used Stitchy Box. The orange is Stitchy Box Pumpkin Spice. The black is, of course, Stitchy Box Bat Orchid. The yellow is Fangirl Fibers Squash. And, oh man, the white is BSM Bone. What dyer is that? Oh, Stitch Me. Stitch Me Bone. Goodness gracious. So I started and finished it on June 25th for my 44 finish of the year. It's teeny tiny. Teeny tiny. It's going to be so cute. This is teeny tiny, but it is not my teeniest, tiniest Quirky Quaker of the year. My teeniest, tiniest Quirky Quaker of the year is coming up soon. This is the current teeniest, tiniest, because the other one, the Space Whale, was on 40 count. So this is on 22 count, marginally smaller. You'll see an even smaller one coming up here. That was finish 44. Finish 45. And a lot of these, so this was another swap. And I don't have a fully finished picture of this. I just have a finished picture of this because I never took a picture. Or I didn't upload my picture after I fully finished it. I'm calling this Fortune Found. It's my design. I designed it for Link is My Homeboy's lovely lunar swap. And it's like a Ouija Biscornu once you put it together. So there's eyeballs, and then there's moons with eyeballs on the inside, and then it says yes, no, maybe, and goodbye. And then you just, like, the idea is you have this Biscornu, this pin cushion sitting next to you, and you just stick your pin or your needle in for it to hold it, and it gives you your answer. So, This is on 28 count Venetian stone Zweigart from Venetian stone linen from Zweigart. And this is using DMC. This grayish here is DMC, and this grayish is also DMC. I wanted it to blend in, so if you're looking at it thinking that really blends in, I wanted it to. And then these purple, green, and gray are Threadworks. I didn't keep track of what, but, and I want to thank Carol M for the name Fortune Found Biscornu, because I really like that. So I got to stitch that again in order to release it. But that is definitely an after MSN project because there's too much right now. That was finish 45. And I took a little while to stitch that one. I think I dragged my feet. Oh no, that took me 3 days. I started June 26th and finished June 29th. It's fine. This next one, I started June 30th and finished July 1st. This is my 46th finish of the year. Nutty, are you so proud of me? This is my tiniest unicorn. This is Quirky Quaker Unicorn. And I chose the colors and the size for a very specific reason. So I used Stitchy Box Bat Orchid. Get used to hearing that. And the unicorn is done in Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers Stardust single strand silk, which is a really kind of thin silk and did very well over one. This is, I think this is a 36 count Lakeside linen. And I did it in this way because, let me find it. Two friends, both Beck and Nutty, have stitched Quirky Quaker unicorns for me and sent them to me. So I stitched this Quirky Quaker unicorn very intentionally backwards so that my unicorn, hold on, my unicorn could face Nutty's unicorn. My gosh. It's a lot harder than you think it is to hold things up in front of a camera. My unicorn could face Nutty's unicorn on the unicorn page, and then my unicorn, oh shoot, I didn't stitch it backwards. Anyway, it's a herd of unicorns all running the same direction. I'm changing my story. But my unicorn is the inverse of Nutty's unicorn, and then I thought my Stardust kind of harkened to Beck's Pretty Pastel unicorn. So all three of those will be on the page together. Shoot, I meant to invert my unicorn, and I totally forgot to do it. Nutty's was on, I just learned that Nutty's was done on 32 count, and mine is even smaller than hers. This does have to be recorded for posterity. I stitched something smaller than Nutty. Anyway, that was finish 46, and it was fun. I don't mind one bit a small finish. My next finish was a model. This model was done for Stem X Stitch. Hold on. Okay. This model was done for, I got fuzzy. This model was done for Stem X Stitch. This is my 47th, holy cow, 47th finish of the year. Like, first of all, how much do you love this? Second of all, there's this one. This is called Round Bottom Terrarium. There's another triangle one, and there's a square one. So you really do need the whole set. It's a quick stitch. I started it on July 1st, 2023, and I finished it on July 8th, 2023. It's all DMC. You can see the DMC here. Beautiful colorway. And it's done on 18 count black Aida. But I think, is her name Nicole? What Stem X Stitch did with these designs is 2 colorways of the designs. So if you want to stitch this on black Aida, you can. She also put out another version of the design with slightly different colors that you can stitch on a white or a light colored Aida. So you don't have to stitch it on black if you don't love it. But I am so proud of this finish. It was so much fun to stitch. I'm really glad she let me. I was terrified. It's been a minute since I model stitched for other people, and I was terrified that all those white stitches wouldn't look good. But those white stitches look pretty good, if I do say so myself. So, finish 47 of the year. Excellent. Excellent, excellent. Okay. Finish 48 of the year is also a fully finish. This is Ruffled Feathers from Lindy Stitches. I started stitching it on July 15th and finished it on July 17th because I'm pretty sure just a couple days later was the class. This is Ruffled Feathers. It was a class with Steph of Lindy Stitches and Lois of Lady Dot Creates. I stitched this on a 32 count fabric of the month from Ship's Manor, an even weave, and I changed all of the colors. So this bird is stitched in Stitchy Box Cosmos silk, and the wing is done in one of Stitchy Box's sorbets. And then I think the M is done in the called for DMC, but everything else is changed into Stitchy Box silks. I also changed the back fabric to make it gray. I think I used the pink ribbon that they sent, but look at this. Just look. I made that. And I used a Tula pink fabric that my friend Deanna sent me. So there's a place to tie your scissors in, and then there's a thing up here for your needles. We put this whole thing together, and I feel like a goddess. I feel like I could fully finish anything after I took that class with Lois and Steph. And I just can't even tell you how empowering the class was. If you ever have a chance to take a class that Lois of Lady Dot Creates is stitching, don't hesitate, or is teaching. Like, look at it, looks like a petticoat on the inside. We put so many trims on these things, and Steph sent us every bit of this that we needed in order to finish it. Every little piece of batting, every piece of floss, she sent the whole shebang. We did do our best while we were on the class to talk those two into doing a Halloween class. So I don't know if it worked, but I'm just saying keep your eyes open. Subscribe to Steph Lindy Stitches newsletter because I'm pretty sure we'll hear about it first, us newsletter subscribers. Steph, I don't know if you'll watch this, but if you do, Halloween class, I'll go. It was so good. And it was so fun to watch Steph and Lois interact because you can tell that they really, really respect each other and also really like each other. It was cool to be a part of their world for a few hours. But also, I can finish anything now. I can fully finish anything now. That was finish 48. Finish 50. Wait. Finish 49. Finish 49 is Let's Make a Statement 3 from D's 20 Stitches. And you can see that I'm fully in my even weave era here. So this is done in the same colors as the other one. This is Queer Liberation Will Not Come from Rainbow Capitalism. So this is number 3. You can see that I've fully leaned into my even weave because this is 32 count Be Stitch Me Evergreen Lugana. And I used the same Stitchy Box silks as I did when I stitched the first one. So I decided that I'm going to the odd numbers, I have to restitch number 1. But you can see I didn't cut my fabric for this. This is a big old piece of fabric with a little queer dinosaur on it and one Let's Make a Statement. So I'm going to stitch the odd numbers on this color, and then the even numbers on, I have a bright orange, which I think is going to be wild but also amazing. And then I will make a bunting. Helen's bunting, Diddy Stitcher, is my goal. The one that hangs behind her in her videos. So if you're not sure, go look at Helen, the Diddy Stitcher, and see her bunting, because that's my goal. This I started on July 26th and finished on July 30th, and it was my 49th finish of the year. 49th finish of the year. Yowza. I have to put this in its own pile because this goes back into my whips because I'm using the same fabric. Finish number 50. Oh, I know why I said 50 for before, because it was row 50. Finish number 50 is my July 2023 Patreon chart. This is Admire from a Distance. And this is part of the tinfoil sampler. So the tinfoil sampler has this motif of these two people standing side by side, looking out at the distance. And the saying is live, cackle, admire from a distance. And I love it. Again, it's done all in Cosmo. And I started it on July 30th and finished it on August 1st of this year for my 50th finish of the year. So you can see I've done 4 of these so far on this fabric. I'll put a few more on this fabric, and then I'll take the fabric to Jolynn so that she can finish them. I'll probably take this pillow too so that she can, they don't need to all be the same, but I want them to be cohesive smalls that can go in a bowl, because I'm going to call them snarky smalls or something like that when I release them. But that was finish 50, 5-0. The next one is started on 8 is August, right? Started on August 4th, finished on August 5th. This is Quirky Quaker Ornament. This one is actually, it's funny because I'm going to show you this one, I'm going to show you the next one, and you're going to be like, Michelle, those are the same ones. They're not. This is Danielle's version. So Danielle started stitching Quirky Quaker Ornament, and she didn't love stitching with the diamante. This is all DMC diamante. And if you stitch this Quirky Quaker Ornament, I highly recommend diamante. And also, I recommend 16 count Aida or 32 count linen or even weave, because do not stitch with 2 strands of diamante. Do yourself a favor and don't do it. And don't stitch with diamante on 40 count. I've abandoned whips because of that combination. But this loveliness is Quirky Quaker Ornament. It's from Darling and Whimsy. Danielle gave me hers and it was already started. You can see, I think it's like this much here was already done. And Danielle didn't love it, but I think, and Danielle and I have talked about this, I think it's because she was using 2 strands. But I was like, I'll finish it for you. And she was like, if you finish it for me, you can have the diamante. Deal. So I finished it for her. I took the diamante, I gave it back to her. She has this now. This is the sparkliest thing you will ever stitch. If you stitch Quirky Quaker Ornament with diamante, nothing you ever stitch after that will be as sparkly as that Quirky Quaker Ornament. Bet. That was my 51st finish of the year. My 52nd was also Quirky Quaker Ornament. Incidentally, that was the second Quirky Quaker Ornament that I stitched. This is the third because I did the model. It's not even a humble brag, it's just a brag. But this is my version. And if you like, look at the sparkle. You can't get it from the picture. You know what? Pause, because I am absolutely flabbergasted that I even have any hair left on my head. There is so much hair that falls out of my head every single day. Eventually, I will shave my head. It'll be a good look for me. I'm telling you, I have a really nice head shape, and when I shave my head, it'll be a good look. It might take a little bit of getting used to, but just embrace it because I'm going to. Quirky Quaker Ornament. This is my 3rd time stitching it. This one's mine. It's on a piece of 16 count Mystery Aida. It's just a scrap that I had saved. These scraps are the perfect size for Quirky Quakers. And no, I am completely incapable of centering them. None of my Quirky Quakers are centered, and it's fine. This is so sparkly. So sparkly. 1 strand of diamante on 16 count Aida is the recipe for success. I just love it. Started on August 12th, finished on August 13th for my 52nd finish of the year. I haven't decided yet if this is going to go in my journal or if I'm going to actually ornament this so that I can put it on the tree, because this would sparkle so much with the light, Christmas light shining on it. I think I might do that. I gotta sit on my foot. I'm just not comfortable if I'm not sitting on my foot. Okay. Finish number 53 of the year is a design for, oh my God, there's still a needle on one of these. What is wrong with me? This is a design for Leanne at Forbidden Fiber. And this is for the, she's doing elements boxes. Somebody please tell me that the air or earth one has not gone on sale yet, because I designed for the water. I bought the fire, which was Janine McGowan of the Blue Flower, and it is fantastic. And I want to get the other 2 because I got to complete the cycle. But this is, I call it Water Quaker. It says, nothing is softer or more flexible than water, yet nothing can resist it. So this will be exclusive to Leanne's box for a while. And then, of course, once she's okay with it, I'll release it. But I loved this. I started this on August 1st, and I finished it on August 16th. This is on 32 count Spellbound linen from Forbidden Fiber Co. And I used 4 colors. I only used 4 colors on this. And let me tell you, this is 120 by 99. 4 colors on this was really hard to do. The balance, getting the same amount or similar amount of each color, hard to do. But I did it. Forbidden, Fiber Co., Winter Wonderland, Incomparable, Indigo, and Coal. I am so proud of this. I'm obsessed with it. And this whole side over here, from this all the way up to here, I stitched it 3 times. But it came out great. I just can't count, but that's all. I love this so much. I will get this framed. I love it. I love it. And I cannot wait to start. If you haven't seen Janine McGowan's, she did a Phoenix. It's called Winter Phoenix. Also, I didn't realize, because I didn't buy the box that had my own in it because I had already stitched it. I didn't realize that the boxes come with beads. So please, y'all, put the beads on this and tell me where you put them. I'm thinking the fishes would be great for beads. If you bead up the fishes, or the anchors would be cool for bead. I don't even know. Where would you put the beads? Put the beads on there. Send me pictures. Show me where you put the beads. We'll put the beads on there. All right, my next one is, I started and finished this on August. We're in August. Started and finished on August 17th. This is the Quirky Quaker Pride freebie. This is on a random scrap of Aida that I had. I did DMC Diamant for the border to make it sparkly and fabulous, and did Bryn and needle flosses to make the trans pride flag. I don't know where this is. This was meant to go to D for a deluge of love, and it didn't make it. It didn't make it yet. It was supposed to go to Deanna, Darling and Whimsy, and then Deanna compiled this huge box and we sent it to D. If you haven't seen D open that box, please go watch them, D's 20 Stitches, because it will make you happy. You will be vicariously happy. So a bunch of us stitched Quirky Quaker Pride flags for D, and we sent it to them, and I did the trans pride flag because that's Dee's flag. A lot of people did their own flags because of the courage and support that Dee gives other people in the community, and we just wanted to show them all the love. So someday, I have faith that the universe will someday deliver this to Deanna's house so that it can get passed on to Dee. But it's currently lost somewhere between USPS and Canada Mail. But I'm not counting it as a failure because it's not a failure yet. It's not a failure yet. It's not. Oops. Oops doops. It's fine. It's gonna be fine, is what it is. But that was finished 54 for the year. Stitched it in a day, as you generally do with Quirky Quakers. Now, this one still has a needle on it. I don't know what's wrong with me. This was my 55th finish of the year. This is on a piece of 18 count Aida that my Diana dyed. And this was done for hashtag Stitchy for Witchy. So I did a combination of Arbitrary August and Stitchy for Witchy because Witchy Stitcher was also diagnosed with cancer. You can't make this stuff up. And the community also wanted to support Meg. So we all said, how do you support a designer? You buy their stuff and you stitch their stuff. So hashtag Stitchy for Witchy was born. And what I did is I put all of my Witchy Stitcher designs, of which I have numerous, onto a wheel, and I spun, and this was August, so it was partially Stitchy for Witchy, and it was also Arbitrary August. I'm trying to get it, it's fine. You know, I'm gonna stop messing around. And my first spin was Happy Horror Days, and I think this was a Patreon freebie. Happy Horror Days, I saffed this, start and finish, on August 18th, 2023. It was finished 55 for the year. I just used the called for DMC. It's a cutie patootie. And I'll finish it into an ornament, or Diana said she would too. Did I say 53? It was finished 55. Finished 56, I counted this as one finish because it's one pattern. So this is on the same fabric. It was my next spin for Stitchy for Witchy, and this is hashtag stitched spookies. And I didn't do a very good job spacing them. If I had spaced these two closer together, I could just leave it like this, but now I'm going to have to make them individual finishes, I think. Stitched spookies. I started this on the 20th of August and finished it on the 24th of August. Again, I think this is a Patreon design. And again, I used the called for DMC, except I did sub in DMC Diamant for the black. I was on a Diamant kick. I had just finished that Quirky Quaker Pride, and you can kind of see it sparkling a little bit. The thing with the black Diamant is it doesn't sparkle like the colored Diamant does. It kind of gives Catwoman catsuit in Batman Forever or Batman Returns. Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman catsuit is what the DMC Diamant Black gives, which I'm here for that. But that was finished. I counted all of these as one finish because it's one pattern from Witchy. I don't always do it that way, but in this case I did. And 56, finish number 56. And this is on, like I said, that same 18 count Diana dyed Ada. I left the needle minder and the needle on it. That's not a good situation, Michelle. So I'm going to just take this off really quick. I think because I was planning to do more, but then my next Stitchy for Witchy spin turned out to be a bigger chart. So I didn't end up doing more smalls on that fabric right then, but I did end up just leaving my needle on there like an absolute hooligan. My next Stitchy for Witchy spin was actually Baba Yaga, and it took me a little bit longer to finish that one. But my next finish number 57, this is Snack Bar from Lindy Stitches, and this was the pattern at the 2023 Acorn Gathering. Every January, Acorns and Threads does a little get-together. They call it Acorn Gathering, and they do it both in the shop and on Zoom. Most all of their events, their big events, are dual events now. So any big event, retreat style that you can go to, you can also Zoom in. So this is by Lindy Stitches, and it's called Snack Bar. So I started this January 28th, 2023 at Acorn Gathering, and I finished it September 8th, 2023. And this is on 32 count vintage rose Lugana, and the cool thing about this fabric is that it's printed. So you can see the front is variegated and the back is not because it's a printed fabric. And I did this, it's in DMC and Classic Colorworks. The pattern calls for some other flosses, but the Acorns crew was nice enough to let me swap out the flosses that I don't use for flosses that I am comfortable using. So this is finish number 57, and this qualified for hashtag queued up Sal, which means queued up Sal, it is the idea that you don't start a whip by a designer until you've finished another whip by a designer. So that didn't really work because I did ruffled feathers, and I have another one from Lindy Stitches. I have a big sampler, but it's whatever. It's so pretty, and I passed the stash on this, and I'm going to finish this one for a friend. I'm going to fully finish this and send it off to a friend. I already know. There's plans. There's plans surrounding that. Finish number 58, I actually can't show you, but I am happy to report that finish number 58 was accepted for the spring 2024 issue of Just Cross Stitch magazine. So you will see my 58th finish of 2023 in Just Cross Stitch Spring magazine next June. I'll tell you, it only took me 2 days to stitch it. I started on September 9th and finished on September 10th. I stitched it on some even weave from Grace Notes Fabrics. Again, I'm in my even weave era, and I did use Threadworks. So I'll give you that teaser. It's on even weave using Threadworks. And my Diana finished it for me. But of course, it has a DMC. I don't know if I put a DMC conversion on there. I might have not. But the Threadworks is so variegated. You'll figure it out. Finish number 59 is gone. This is Fuchsia from Ink Circles. And this was my swap gift, my Smalls Exchange gift at Pacific Northwest Stitch Summit. So I started this. This is Fuchsia is a pattern from Ink Circles, and it's a Patreon pattern. And I will stitch this again for myself, absolutely, because looking at this piece, to me, this is like a joyous queen of the bugs, right? Like, here's her face, here's her bod, here's her arms spread wide in victory, and here's her crown. It's a joyous insect queen, and I love it. And the fabric is 14 count Love You to the Moon and Saturn from Fangirl Fibers. And the floss is a Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers limited edition that my friend Kaylee Cross Stitch sent me. So I love this piece. I stitched it on a 14 count Aida so that it would fit inside the trivet. Because I used to do these trivet finishes all the time, and I kind of stopped because they're heavy and they take up space, and I've been mostly finishing things in journals. But everything is cyclical, so now I'm feeling like I want to finish things in things again. I also quit my thrift store habit, which has been really good for the clutter and the bank account. So there's that. But yeah, that was finish 60. Nope, finish 59 for the year. And we're right back to the desktop for finish 60, because finish 60 didn't get to stay with me. This is Kim's first Most Magnificent Ink Circles round robin. This is Forest Flower. And if you look at the pattern, the cover photo of this, it looks nothing like this, because Kim went absolutely bonkers with the Be Stitch Me conversion, and it is fantastic. I couldn't honestly tell you which quadrant is mine. They all look the same to me at this point. I don't remember, but I think that's a good thing. I started stitching this on September 27th and finished stitching on it on September 29th. It's my 60th finish. The fabric is 40 count Night Sky from Be Stitch Me, and the flosses are all Be Stitch Me silks. It's Punch, Plankton, Life's a Peach, Pistachio, and Petunia. I don't know if Kim tried to pick all the P's, but she did. I actually wasn't even meant to stitch on this, except my friend Martine was having trouble with the 40 count linen, so she sent it to me and I sent her mine on 14 count Aida, and it was beautiful. It worked out perfectly. So that was finish number 61 of 2023. It's wild, right? It really helps pad the finishes when you have like quarters of things. Oh, that was finish 60, sorry. It really helps pad the finishes when you have like quarters of things and smalls, and most of my designs are small, so it helps. Finish 61 is another model. So Quirky Quakers and models and old whips. Oh my. This is Bloody Mary. I designed her for the Fangirl Fibers Halloween box this year. And I don't know really what this Aida is called. It's dyed by Emily at Fangirl Fibers. I asked her to make it look like a mirror, so it does. And what Emily did is she gave us all of us who contributed to the box, she gave us a scary story from American folklore. She let us choose, and I chose Bloody Mary. So the story of Bloody Mary is if you say her name 3 times in a dark bathroom, she appears in the mirror, and she's scary. So this is a bit of a departure for me. I love the mirror. It's all DMC. The mirror is étoile, so it sparkles. And the face is really different. This is not a style that I usually design in, but when I've done art journals in the past, I've doodled a lot of faces that look like this. So she's a little bit wonky. Her eyes are scary. She's bleeding out of her face, but she's scary. She's scary. It's a little funny to me that I got Bloody Mary, because out of all the stories that Emily had for us, this is the only one that I've actually been afraid of in real life. Bloody Mary scares me. So I don't know if I'll actually release this. It's not bad. It's stitched up fast. I started on September 30th and I finished it on October 14th. 61st finish, 61st finish of the year. I don't know. She's scary. She's creepy. She's creepy, but I love her, but she's creepy. I don't know. Anyway, finish 62. I'm not showing you because that is a model again. It is a gift chart from one of my friends that I asked them to design a little something something for us for the cruise. So I'm not showing you. I will tell you it took me a day, 2 days to stitch it. I started it on October 17th and I finished it on October 18th. It's stitched on 18 count baked clay Ada from Fox and Rabbit with some Brin and Needle flosses, and it is for my Flosstube. It is for my Flosstube people, or my Flosstube at Sea people. But I'm guessing I'm gonna go out on a limb and guess that Deanna will probably release it after Flosstube at Sea. I hope she does because it's real cute. Okay, next finish number 63. This is a big one, and I am uber proud of this. The design is Love Gains, a Quaker sampler. This is from Modern Folk Embroidery, but this is Le Tour de France edition. So I started this on July 2nd, 2023, and I didn't finish it until October 21st, 2023. I got behind. But what I did is I took Love Gains, a Quaker sampler, and I made each motif match the jersey of the rider who won that day. So, for example, stage 1, and you can see I put the number 1 in there. You can kind of see it because it's in white. Stage 2 you can see better because I put it in red. Stage 1 was won by United Arab Emirates, Team UAE, and that's what their jersey looks like. Stage 2 was won by Cofidis. Right here, stage 13 and 14 were both won by Ineos Grenadiers, and that's what their jerseys look like, and so on and so forth. And then I threw the Tour de France logo in my charting software and added 23 on it. And that piece, which is big, this piece is 185 by 221. I think this is the biggest piece I started. This is hands down the biggest piece I started and finished this year. This is on a piece of 40 count Verdal Ada, or 40 count Verdal, which is a 40 count even weave from Jody of Steel City Stitchers. And I had this piece for so long, and it's so bright yellow, and I don't like yellow, and it's perfect for this piece. So I cannot wait to have this framed and displayed because it's so me. I think the idea was my friend Christina's idea, and she did it as well. She stitched Tempting Tangles Quakers in France, I think, as her piece. And next year, stay tuned because she and I are hatching up a plan to stitch all 3 grand tours together on one piece. It's going to be epic. Because after I stitched this, I was like, oh, I'm going to stitch La Vuelta. I didn't stitch La Vuelta. I didn't even finish this until after La Vuelta. But next year, we plan to stitch all three grand tours together on one piece. Did I say that already? That's the plan. So proud of that piece. Oh no, dropping things. This is the part of the video that gets a little dicey because things start to hit the ground. That was finished 63 for the year. Finished 64 for the year. I started this and finished it. Is that right? That's not right. I didn't stitch this in one day. I might have stitched this in one day. This is a craftivism piece. This was designed by Tetris NT, and this is called Handala Flying. I started and finished this on October 22nd, 2022, in support of the Palestinian people. So this is stitched on 28 count Desert Sunrise Jobelin with Mrs. Seda silks. And there he is. I'm not going to make a whole bunch of commentary other than to say that what we choose to stitch is important. And sometimes when you feel very small and you can't do anything, you can stitch, you can donate. There are things that you can do. Even when you feel small, there's things that you can do. So that was finish number 64. Finish number 65, back to the first most magnificent ink circles round robin, is After the Roses. And this is Erin 2 Martini Stitchers. I started stitching this on October 15th and finished stitching it on October 25th, my quadrant, which again, I couldn't tell you which quadrant was my quadrant. This is stitched on 36 count color and cotton. I didn't write down the name. And it's stitched in all of the classic Colorworks called for colors, which there's a lot of called for colors in this piece. This is a color completer's nightmare. Until you get to a certain point, and then it becomes a color completer's dream. I'm a color completer, so when I stitch my pieces, I stitch if I can, I stitch all of one color and then all of the next color and then all of the next color. I realize that I design my pieces to be stitched like that too in most times, which is kind of funny. But this is a beautiful piece. I can't wait to see it finished. Erin will be happy when it comes back to her. Finish number... That was finish number 65. Finish number 66, I am going to show you. This might be a spoiler. So I know that the Starlight Stitchery Neon Goth box, I know the box is shipping, and I know the booklets are shipping. So the Neon Goth, I think was it the first time that you were able to order just the booklet or a PDF version of the booklet maybe? Rather than just the box. But I love participating in the Starlight Stitchery boxes, like I said before. So if you got the Neon Goth box from Starlight Stitchery and you haven't gotten your box yet, now is the time to look away. And I'm going to give you a second to look away and not get spoiled, because I'm going to show this. This is my 66th finish of the year. I started it on November 1st and finished it on November 4th, and I'm going to show it now. So if you haven't looked away and you get spoiled, that is on you, not on me. I won't say the name, because if you're looking away and you're doing the right thing and not wanting to get spoiled, look at that crease down the middle. I should iron this again. I love it. I don't know what this fabric is. It's a 28 count Lugana that my friend Diana dyed, I'm pretty sure. And I did use the flosses out of the box as per usual, which is why I put it on a fabric that this fabric isn't available for mass consumption. And the only reason that I put it on this fabric when it's not available for mass consumption is because neither will these colors be. These colors are only available in the box. So I'll have to restitch it again. And when I restitch it, okay, it's safe to look back again because I took it down. When I restitch it again, I'll probably restitch it in pastels, because pastel goth is also a thing that I love. So right now it's neon goth. Later it'll be pastel goth. The theme is goth. I have to organize this. I can't handle this. The theme is goth, and I love it. But I will fully finish this little thing because it's great. This is making me big mad. I'm going to put my models in my lap. But you can see how many models I've made this year and just not done anything with because school. The good thing about that, though, is once school is done, which it almost is, I will have so many things that I can get ready and release without designing or stitching on them, which is great. 67th finish of the year. I started this on 8/18, so August 18th, 2023. Finished it on November 5th, 2023. This was a Stitchy for Witchy start. And I love this. This is Baba Yaga. And the original Baba Yaga that Witchy Stitcher designed, the accents are all in orange. But I chose 32 count Picture This Plus Eek for mine. And then I used DMC Etoile, so it's all sparkly. So I changed the accents to green since the pattern or the fabric is orange. So fabric orange, pattern accents green, success astronomical. Hashtag Stitchy for Witchy. And it was a new start. And I finished it. I had meant to start this ages ago. It's been in my to start pile for a really long time. But I didn't start it yet. But it's done now. And then again, this is one where I'm like, do I frame it or do I do like a really cool like tombstone shaped flat fold or something? I don't know. I don't know quite what I do with this yet. I will trim off the excess fabric because this up here, that's telling me I can at least get 2 Quirky Quakers, maybe 3 on that. So excellent, excellent. Next one is a whip, a swap piece rather. And I wish I had a picture of this finished, but this is called I Ain't Dead. It's by Kin Cavell Crosses. I started it on November 5th, 2023, finished it on November 11th, 2023. This is a 28 count Lugana. I think Diana dyed it, but I'm not sure. It also could have been Anna. It's really crunchy. I don't know who dyed it. The floss is called, it's called Deep Woods, and it's a Stitchy box silk. It's like my new favorite silk. It's a flower silk, so it variegates through 6 colors. And I sent this to Aya Rosen, kind of. I tried to send it to Aya, but I got the address wrong and it went to someone else in New York. But that person reached out and contacted me, so I sent them a new label and hopefully they send it to Aya. I really hope. Fingers crossed, because I finished it so great and I hope Aya loves it, and I love how I fully finished it and I'm so proud of it. And if it doesn't get to her, I will be absolutely gutted. It'll be my fault completely, but I will be gutted. Next finish, back to this green. I started this on November 11th, finished it on November 12th. This is Quirky Quaker Christmas Tree. This was for my, I was in Vintage Sew Gal, Steph, her vintage orney swap, and I stitched this for my recipient. I used Stitchy Box Silk. This is Vintage Camper, the light blue that variegates into white. I forget what the green is called, but I think it's Forest, actually. That's a Stitchy Box Silk. And then this yellow is a Fangirl Fiber Silk that doesn't have a name. It came in a monthly silk pack. So started this on November 11th, finished it on November 12th. Finished 60, whatever I said, of the year. It's hard when I don't have my spreadsheet. Finished 69 of the year. And then I turned right around and stitched another Christmas tree. Because Quirky Quaker Christmas Tree was for my Quirky Quaker Whip Go. I sent that one to Julie. And then I stitched this one for myself. So, Quirky Quaker Christmas Tree. This one is done in all Fangirl Fibers silks. These 3, the green, the red, and the black, all came in the same silk pack as the yellow did. I was thinking colors of the Palestinian flag when I stitched this. It's giving a little bit like dark, moody Christmas, but I'm not mad about it. I started this on November 12th, didn't finish it till November 18th. I feel like I stopped and did other things in between. This was the 70th finish of the year. Or either I stopped and did other things, or I was concentrating on school, because there were a lot of times that I didn't stitch during the week when I was concentrating on school. But finished 70, y'all. Can you believe that? 70. I mean, it's pretty easy to believe because Quirky Quakers, right? Speaking of that, here's finish 71. This is 36 count Lakeside Linen Tundra. It's another one of those sample pieces, and you can see the other Christmas tree was right there. I just cut it out to finish it. I put the fox kind of over a little far, so I might be able to fit another one on here, and I might not. We'll just find out. But Quirky Quaker Fox is one of my few remaining whip goes for the year, and I stitched this in Forbidden Fiber Co. Rusty Nail, and then DMC 3371, and Rusty Nail is such a great color for a fox, isn't it? I was going to make this first, I was going to make it into Robin Hood, Disney's Robin Hood, and put a little green hat on him. And then I decided I was way too lazy for that. And then I was going to make an Arctic fox, and I decided I don't want to stitch that many white stitches. So I grabbed my Forbidden Fiber Co. Rusty Nail, and I went to work. And that's that. And he came out great. I love him. That was, again, started on November 18th, finished on November 19th. Quick and easy start and finish. Feeling good, feeling accomplished. Again, there's room on this for one more Quirky Quaker. So I'll probably put one more on there this year, hopefully. Finish number 73. I started stitching on November 19th, finished stitching on November 20th. This is Tracy Horner Fire, Burn, and Cauldron Bubble. You can buy this now, I think, but it was definitely in a magazine at first. This is Jean's Pediatric X-Stitcher, Jean G. This is her piece, and this was the first piece that I was able to work on to bring to a fully finish, or to bring to a like full-on finish, which is exciting. I still have one more piece over there that's begging me to get done by the end of the year. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I'm going to try. But I love this piece. This is done on, hold on. This is done on 27 count Phoenix Lugana from Bestitch Me. And the floss is Dinky Dye's Native Plum. And it's just gorgeous. Again, finish number 72. I can't believe it. 72. Finish number 73, also on this page. This is Rangoli Lace from Ink Circles. This is one of Tracy's newer ones. I think she released this at... Did she release this at Expo this year? It was this year's release. I don't know if it was market or when. This is on 40 count. This is another 40 count Verdal. You can see, like, I am hitting my even weave stride this year. Everything even weave. I started my quadrant on October 25th, 2023. Didn't finish it until November 23rd, 2023, but it really was only 3 or 4 days of stitching when I sat down. And I used Threadworks Lava Rock and Jillian's Sugar Plum. And I'm stitching with Mari and Nati and Anna, and we're doing a Barbie Ink Circles round robin. So we're all stitching in pinks and grays, and it's Barbie. So I sent 2 skeins of each of these colors on to Nati, and I don't know if we're going to stitch it like most of the outside is pink and most of the accents are gray, or if we're going to checkerboard it, or if we're going to half it, because that's not a decision that I have to make. That's a decision that my group members have to make. So it's on y'all. I will love it anyway it goes. That was finish number 73 of the year. I only have 3 more finishes for this whole stinking year. Let me get my spreadsheet back up so I can tell you what they are. I did not finish as many this year whips as I thought I did. Most of the things I finished were things that I started. So my next finish was, hold on, let me give Rosie more time on the internet. Okay. My next finish is My Necessity from Nuri of Shaded Stitchery. And I started this on May 9th, 2023. I started this on my way home from Stitch North. And I stitched on this for like 20 hours on that day because I was awake for 24. The first is an exaggeration, the second is not. It was a horrible travel day on the way back. But I made it home, so like, who cares? This is My Necessity. This is stitched on 32 count Vintage Marine from Witchelt. And it's stitched with all of the called for Roxy Floss Co. flosses. Except I made a couple of substitutions. I put Petite Treasure braid here for the scissors and for the bracelet and for the eye of the needle. And then, Petite Treasure braid, sparkly. And then this thread that goes through is actually a Silks for You. And that's a silk that someone at Stitch North just handed me as I was walking by their table. They were like, here, do you want some silk? And I was like, yes, thank you. Because that's how retreats go. So because they did that, I incorporated it into my Stitch North project, right? So this was meant to be a Stitch North start that didn't get started at Stitch North, but that's fine because it's done now and I got started on the trip. And it's just lovely. And I highly recommend it. It was a fun stitch. I will tell you, the chances that any of those clouds are actually where they're meant to be is almost 0. But they're clouds. They're clouds. You can't tell. They're clouds. You don't know that they're wrong. But they're wrong. But they're clouds. So, I love this piece. Again, can't wait to get it framed. Can't wait to get it hung up. And then my last 2 finishes, 75 and 76, are my Threads of Diaspora finishes. So you all just recently saw these on Flosstube. This is my first one. I did 2. Threads of Diaspora is a project to support Palestinian embroidery, support and bring awareness to. And traditional Palestinian embroidery is called tetris. And there's a lot of different motifs, and the motifs have meaning. And I wish I knew what my motifs mean, but I don't. So you can sign up at Threads of Diaspora. I don't know if they're still taking signups for Section 4, which is what mine are, or if they're on to Section 5 soon. But they send you a pattern, and the patterns are all charted in 3 colors. And But then you can choose any 3 colors you want. So I chose 2 colors of DMC, and well, there are 3 colors of DMC, but this is a pearl cotton number 5, because the only constraint is that you have to stitch on 11 count Aida, white 11 count Aida. So that's one of them. That's my 75th finish. I started this on December 4th and finished it on December 7th. And then my 76th finish is Threads of Diaspora number 2. I started this on December 7th and finished it on December 13th. So these are my 2 Threads of Diaspora. I will send them back now that I showed them. I should have sent them back last week, but I'm glad I have them to show in the video. This is the upside for this. This one had an upside, and this one rotates, so it doesn't matter. But I was going for the look of like an olive grove with the greens and yellows. So I will send that back. I think they're on 5 now, people say. And that's it. 7. Like I said, I might have one more finish before the end of the year. I will have at least one more finish by the end of the year, but it'll be a model. It's for Jesse's Burb Box. Burb Box 2024 coming at you. But I won't show you that anyway, so it doesn't matter. And then with all that being said and done, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I have 15 whips left. That's it. With all of those finishes this year and all of the starts, I have 15 whips. So my whip parade might be a little shorter than this one. My whip parade will be shorter than this one, let's be honest. I also abandoned 4 whips. I get rid of Mini Crane from Heaven and... Well, I haven't gotten rid of it yet, but I will de-stash Mini Crane from Heaven and Earth Designs during the marathon for MMIW G2S auctions. I get rid of Mini Cletus from Haid. Steph took that off of my hands to raise money for RTFC and my boss going down to the Dominican Republic to do surgeries. Got rid of Jane Marshall from Hands Across the Sea Samplers. Danielle took that off my hands for the same reason. Oh, I got rid of 5. I stopped stitching Cryptid Sal from the Witchy Stitcher because Diamant on 40 count. That ain't it. And I got rid of Halloween Calendar from Tiny Modernist. I sent that to Trina, also for RTFC. And I purchased Dark Queen of the Seas from my friend Melissa and then got rid of it and sent it to my friend Holly because I realized I didn't actually want to stitch it. Hashtag Team Jomo. So finished 76, rehomed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and abandoned 1. So that's a lot. Next year, this will be much more organized because I will keep track of everything next year in my Notion app. If you don't know, Stitchy Nutty came up with this Notion template. This is the Stitchery Notion template. And she first started with this Notion template. It's $9. And just this week, she released both a cross-stitch swap and sal planner and a retreat planner for Notion. So I'm going to go buy one of each of those for myself. And Nati has asked me to give away one of each of those to y'all. So I will drop a Happy Mail form in the comment section here. Please fill out the in the information below if you made it this far. Please fill out the Happy Mail form and let me know, do you want the swap and sal planner? Do you want the retreat planner? Or do you want both? If the first person I draw wants both, they get it. If the first person I draw only wants one or the other, they get it. And then the next person, so on and so forth. You understand. But let me know, and I'll leave this up for 2 weeks, this giveaway. And sorry if you already bought them. Thank you for being an early adopter and supporting Nati. I'll leave this up for 2 weeks and then we'll do the drawing, and I'll see who I can send these things to. But Notion is the way to go because my second half of the year was much more organized than my first half of the year. Thank you for hanging out with me. Next week, I'll be back with a regular Flosstube because I'll actually have things that I can show you, hopefully, that I've stitched on. Nothing I've stitched on this week I can even show you, so it didn't make any sense. But I appreciate you hanging out. Hopefully you saw part 1 and part 2. fill out the Happy Mail form below to get your to get entered for the giveaway, and I will see you when I see you.